first, a little surprise. We're about to meet a new member of the family.
So we should explain that we are actually talking about a rhino here. Now, you may remember that I was lucky enough to travel to South Africa with Steph for the show a few years ago. Got to meet some of the incredible animals in the wild, and was surprised when the team we worked with out there did something very special indeed. Part of the conservation effort is to make sure that they know where the rhinos are, to track them. And so Will has asked me if I would like to accompany the team to put a tracker on a rhino that they're going to dart. He's just tranquilised the rhino. OK, time to do my part to combat poaching.
She's pregnant.
That she's definitely pregnant, which is great news.
It's quite surprisingly emotional. I'm now watching the progress of the rhino Scof.
Right, so today we're with a really special rhino. His name is Scof, named after Phillip Schofield.
I mean, if you have a rhino named after you, then that has got to be the absolute ultimate.
Oh, so lovely.
So I've got my own rhino.
I know, I can see your going as well. It's
just amazing. I'm so proud.
I'm so proud. Well, last week, the team you saw with Phil there got back in touch, and there's been some developments. Scof has got a baby sister.
So we can find out more now because we are crossing live to South Africa and to wildlife vet Dr Will Foles. Good morning, Will. How very lovely to see you again. This was it was a surprise, wasn't it?
It was a surprise. We do count the months between calving, and we knew she would be close, even though we can never see that in a rhino. So we weren't anticipating it when it came, which was over the Easter weekend, but I think the timing was amazing, and it's made us all extremely excited during some very difficult times.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, she is really beautiful. How is baby Scof doing? Not such a baby anymore, 3 years old.
Yeah, so Scof, as you would predict, is a bit of a mommy's boy, and he hung around even through the birth process, which was a bit of a surprise for us. So we've got some photographs on day one where Scof is sulking in the background and not wanting to leave his mother's side, which is what they're supposed to do a few weeks before the new one comes.
I see. He doesn't want to go.
And how is the coronavirus crisis affecting you guys down there? Has had that an effect on poaching? Yeah,
so our first problem is that with the shutdown of international tourism, you know, the funding, a large component of it has disappeared entirely, which is putting our systems under a lot of pressure. There have been some reports in the north of the country that there is a poaching spike, so we are bracing ourselves as best we can, and we're relying more and more on the generous donations of people from around the world, especially those that have been helping us for many years now, the Medivets of the world and the Wilderness Foundation and many other NGOs in the UK that are basically keeping the system going while we brace ourselves for what we think are going to be very difficult times.
Well, you really don't want those numbers to go up, because actually in South Africa for 5 years in a row, poaching has declined.
Yeah, so on the face of things, there's some very good news all around the country in that the overall number of deaths has declined, but what is worrying us is that so has the overall population declined. So we're not out of the woods yet. We're still in a crisis situation where we are heading towards extinction, and it's critical to keep these endangered species protected at all times. Tourism was one of the foundation stones of that protection. That is now gone for the foreseeable future. So we're having to lean on the contacts of friends abroad to help us do that, which is obviously something we've got to now adapt to. But yeah, it does mean that when an event like this comes along, where a new baby gets delivered to us, you know, over Easter weekend, that hope of resurrection and new life keeps us going, keeps us motivated. And
standing beside a fully grown rhino is an experience that I will never, ever forget. It was quite extraordinary, and your team there and around the world are amazing. It's lovely to be able to celebrate a new birth with a new baby, but she doesn't have a name, Will.
Yeah, Philip, I know you were a bit disappointed with the naming of Scof, so we've decided to make that up to you, and the decision we've come to for Scof's baby sister is to call her Holly.
Yeah! You got a rhino!
I got a rhino! Oh, I am so honoured. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
That
Scof
really
and Holly
is
wandering on the...
wild forever.
Yeah, on the Amakhala Game Reserve.
That is wonderful.
Quite
Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
Take care. Thank you very
Keep
much.
sending us updates so we can watch her grow.
Thank
She's
you.
a beauty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will.
Oh.
There you are.
Well, that is a lovely welcome back, isn't it? Nice start. Thank you.